Hi everyone. I'm Alexander Putilin. Welcome to the episode 6 of Building a Search Engine. I hope everything is alright and live stream works. Let me check this. Okay, looks okay. So I'm going to open the stream. Hey. I'm sorry about the countdown. There was a bit of delay, like I think 1 or 2 minutes. I was setting up the broadcast. I hope it works okay. Today I'm going to talk about how to build a web app with Flask. And if you watched the previous episode, which was yesterday, then you know that there is a new thing called issues. You may contribute to the development. So there is like currently there is 3 opened issues, and actually someone already contributed with a pull request with a fix for removing duplicated code in indexes saved on disk. I actually looked at the code before the episode. There are 2 commits, and here is the diff, and I think it looks good to me. There is now less duplication. If you never looked at diffs before, the red stuff is deleted, the green stuff is added, and as you can see, there is now less duplication. So I'm going to merge this pull request. Thank you, Jonathan. Sorry. And then I'm going to start building a web UI. Merge pull request. Confirm merge. And if you want, there is now, okay, I'm going to close the issue. So there is an issue. But now there are 2 open issues, and you can work on one of them if you want. And I'm going to review your code and merge it. I think it's a cool experiment. So now there is 2 of them, but I'm going to add more this week. Okay, so now let's go. Let's start building a web UI. So if you don't know, I'm going to use Flask web framework. It's a pretty good framework, and it's particularly good for beginners because the most simple app looks like this. So there's only like 7 lines of code, and it's easy to set up and stuff like that. Well, I love Flask a lot, and despite the simplicity, it's very powerful. There are lots of plugins for it, and I think let's start building it now. So I'm going to start with copy pasting this code. I think I have Flask installed. By the way, in the yesterday's episode, I created something called requirements.txt, that contain all the dependencies of the project. And I'm going to start using virtual env, which is basically a special script to create a directory where all dependencies will be installed. It's a really good way to manage dependencies, especially if you have multiple apps. Okay. So I'm going to install all the dependencies, and they're going to be in this directory. So I'm going to install Flask now. And I'm going to create a web UI pipe where there will be all the stuff. Let's test it. By default, it starts a web server on this address. So now it's on my local machine, on my laptop, and it returns hello world. So it's like a fully functional and super simple web app. I'm going to, if you never used Flask, I'm going to briefly explain what's happening. This line creates an app object, basically an object that corresponds to your app, contains all stuff necessary, and this is a normal Python function, but this is something called decorator. These are not limited to just creating roads, but it's a generic Python concept. But this particular decorator creates, just tells app that we want to use this function for creating responses to this URL, to this part of the URL. So for example, if you want to create something different, for example, like this, then I'm going to launch web UI here. Sorry. Let's see. Sorry. Okay, I need to launch the web UI pipe. So we can put all sorts of URLs here, and actually I think this is called query. Okay, whatever. So, and we can actually create dynamic patterns, or sorry, not dynamic, just patterns, and Flask is going to match these patterns for us. So for example, I can make greeting by name. Sorry, didn't work. Sorry, I needed to restart it. So as you can see, it's nicely matched this part of the URL for us, and it's pretty cool. We are going to use similar pattern for user query. So let's start building it. Here, let's create search results URL. Query, and let's return just some debugging information. I think I'm going to do like this. So okay, I'm actually going to add debug equals true. So Flask nicely presents all sorts of issues that are probably going to arise. Okay, now it's not working because I removed this road and I added another road. So let's test it. Search results Python. Okay, user requested Python. So what I'm going to do next? I think I'm actually going to build a search form. So I'm going to build some sort of envelope for this stuff. And to do this, I need a main page. I actually think I'm not going to use plain HTML because it's going to look ugly. I'm going to use a framework called Twitter Bootstrap, which allows you to nicely create UI. There are lots of components and they're really nice. Like for example, buttons. I'm going to show you button. Some button groups, where is buttons, some drop downs, so it's pretty. And I'm going to use this framework. And to do this, actually it's just, if you want to use it without Flask, you just include a few lines into your HTML. But since I'm going to use it with Flask, there is a fancy Flask plugin called Flask Bootstrap, which makes it easy to integrate Bootstrap into Flask apps. So let's install it. And then there is another plugin called Flask VTF, which simplifies creating forms. I know about these plugins because I actually created Flask apps in the past, but you probably want to learn how to use them if you never previously created Flask apps. So what I'm going to do next is just create a nice hello world in using Flask Bootstrap. Okay, 8 people watching. Hi everyone. It looks like there are more people than in the beginning, and I'm going to explain what I'm doing in shortly. So what I'm trying to do is What I'm doing now is creating a nice web UI using Flask and using Flask Bootstrap plugin. So now I'm going to look at some examples of Flask Bootstrap. Okay, installed it. Sample application. Okay, I didn't explain you about templates, but I'm going to do it very soon. So first I'm going to enable Flask Bootstrap. Then I'm going to create a template, and a template is like an HTML page, but it's sort of a template. For example, you probably saw me using this thing. Which substituted these things with arguments, and Flask comes with a more powerful system than this. It's called Jinja templating engine. It's called Jinja, and it's pretty powerful. It allows you to create patterns more powerful than this. Use conditions, loops inside them. I'm going to show you how to do this. So I need to create template directory, and inside it I'm going to create index.html. I'm going to copy paste the code that are available. Can't open file for right. Okay. I think I need to create templates. Sorry. Time. I don't think I need enough power now. So this is a template. A template can extend other templates, and template can have blocks, and basically what this does, it sort of imports these blocks. I'm actually going to show you parent pattern from GitHub. I want to show you base HTML. So base HTML contains a bunch of blocks, and our pattern is going to derive these blocks. So for example, I have some styles, I have some body patterns, not much. There is also some jQuery stuff. So I have this basic HTML structure, and I derive it using this the first line, and then I can override individual blocks. I hope this makes sense. This is an example page. I'm going to remove it and call search engine. And there is some content. And another thing I need is another template for search results. So I'm going to create another template for search results, and I'm going to remove this, copy this. Right now they are the same, but in future I'm going to add different stuff here and different stuff here. So now I'm going to render this template. And what random templates does is it takes this pattern and creates a proper HTML out of this code. So next HTML. Let's see if it worked. Okay, it worked. So it basically took this HTML pattern, created a nice HTML page, and I'm going to show you how I can use parameters in templates. So I'm going to take this, right? And I'm going to move it here. And since Jinja uses a different syntax, it's going to look a bit differently, but it's going to be practically the same thing. So user requested, okay. Query. And I'm going to render template here, search results, and I'm going to pass query as a parameter for render template function. So it takes this pattern, substitutes query with actual user query, and that's what it does. And that's all what it does. Search results Python. Okay, works. Nice. So now I'm going to write some meaningful code in index.html. To do this, I need Flask VTF extension, and this extension is used to create a nice form. I need some. Okay, to check if everything is okay. 7 viewers, hi guys. I need some hello world for Flask VTF. Okay. Creating forms. Oh, sorry. By the way, by passing debug equals true, Flask automatically reloads the Python code once every time it changes. So every time I write, every time I save my code, it gets reloaded, and it's pretty convenient. Okay, now I need to create a form. To do this, I'm going to copy this. So okay, it reloaded. It was unable to find the data required thing. It's called validator. I'm going to fix this very soon. I forgot this slide. Search form, user query, validators data required, and basically Now, okay, I'm going to explain this later. And I need a submit button. Okay, Flask Bootstrap contains a fancy model for quickly creating a form. So I'm going to import it. And then I'm going to replace this name. So it takes a function that, I think it's macro. So it takes a macro that defined in Bootstrap UTF HTML, and it takes a form which I'm going to pass as an argument, and then it creates a nice HTML code for a form. So okay, you need to create a form. Rename it and form search form. So I'm going to pass it like this as an argument to render template. Let's see if it works. Sorry. Must provide secret key to use CSRF. And CSRF is some sort of model. Basically, CSRF is the name of an attack. Typically, okay, I'm not good at web security actually, but it's the name of the attack called cross-site request forgery. And if I'm correct, then I don't think that I need protection against it, because I'm not using any user-sensitive data. Well, and I don't think I can explain it clearly, but I think I don't need CSRF protection, so I'm going to disable it. But if you actually building a web app where users can register, where users can send messages to each other, and you store some sort of sensitive data, then you definitely need to enable it. But since I don't have any user accounts, I think I can simply disable it, at least for this particular form. Maybe later there will be user registration, but I don't think it will be soon. So let's see if it worked. User query. Okay, it looks not very sleek. but as you can see, there is input. I can type user query here, but press enter, it says method not allowed. I'm going to fix it in the next minute. Okay, where is chat? I'm going to allow both GET and POST requests. These are two of the few HTTP request types, and I think there are two main ones. So typically you use POST requests for submitting data such as foreign contents, and you use GET requests to actually get data. I mean, user browsers uses GET requests to get data from your server, and POST requests to submit information to your server, such as foreign contents. So I'm going to use a very convenient method called form validate and submit, and if everything is okay, then I'm going to redirect to search results. And there is an URL for function that constructs a URL from name of the Python function, from the name of endpoint. So basically, we have roads. Every road call has an endpoint call, which is some Python function, and your URL for can construct a URL from the name of endpoint, such as greetings. Actually, I think it should be not greetings by search results. And query is user query data, search form user query data. By the way, if you have some questions, ask them in the chat, and I'll be glad to answer them. I think actually Flask is a pretty big topic, and I think I'm not covering many of the details, but I'm happy to explain any stuff. Okay, I need to import all these beautiful functions. I think they are in the Flask model, but I'm not sure. Let's try it. Let's see if it works. Okay. Did it work? I'm not sure. Wow, is that a nuclear reactor behind you? I don't know. Actually, I think it might be a CPU fan. Maybe I need a better mic to record my videos. Maybe. I wonder how bad is that. So okay, I need to return this redirect, not just create it. It's a special object that yeah, I'm going to answer this question soon, just as I finish this thing. So redirect creates a special object that contains all the information about the actual redirect, like what's the target URL. But I need to return it from this function, not just construct it, but return. So there was a mistake when it looked like this. I need to return it. Okay, it works. So now I can just type, press enter, and it redirects to this URL where I'm going to get actual results. So what text editor are you using to get the command line thingy on the same window as the file you edited? Actually, this is not a text editor. I mean, I'm using Vim, but the program that I'm using to get both Vim and Python running in the same window called Tmax or Tmox. Okay, let me show you. Let me called Tmax. It can do fancy stuff like this, or sorry. So it can nicely split windows, like almost fractal stuff. It can nicely move them, so I can nicely rearrange them. Actually, I rarely use vertical splits, and typically my setup is just multiple horizontal splits. It's pretty convenient when you have, for example, Python running, and then you want to do something, you quickly open a new split, then you do stuff like, I don't know, creating a directory, and then when you are done, you just close it. I highly recommend using it. Another program with similar features called Screen. GNU Screen. So mine is called Tmax, and another one is Screen. And I think Tmax is somewhat better. If you want to get my config. Oh, by the way, there is a nice book called what's its name? I think Pragmatic Tmax. Yeah, it's really good book. I highly recommend it. So let's get back to coding. Okay. So what I need to do, what I want to do now is to create not just an input thing, but also a nice button. Okay, not what I wanted. Button field. Cannot import name button field. Why is that? Okay, someone made this class. Python Flask. Flask ETF button. Okay, it's the same question. By the way, there is. I've just opened. I've just opened the Flask Mega tutorial. It's a really good tutorial. When I was learning Flask, I used this tutorial a lot. It has multiple parts, like I think, okay, like 18 parts already, and it's very useful. I highly recommend it. So what I need to do now is to learn how to quickly create a button. I actually could just use HTML, but I want to generate it from Python code. Maybe that's not possible. Write ETF forms. Submit file, submit field. Okay, let's send. Let's test it. Okay, there is a nice search button here. Yes. Okay, looks even better. I've just put this code into div class container, and container is some sort of special class in Bootstrap, and basically I just wanted to see nice padding or margins, so I just wanted to stuff to be nicely arranged. Then I'm going to do the same thing here. Didn't work. Why? I don't know. Oh, okay, div class container. Okay, works. So this looks nice. This looks less nice. So what I'm going to do now is try to display some actual results here. So search engine will actually search over some content. And to do this, I need to use indexes, like inverted index and forward index. And I explained how to build them in one of the previous episodes, but I'm going to briefly remind what inverted index is. But first let me import it. What was the name? Indexed by. Okay. By the way, Jonathan, I don't know if you saw this, but I've already merged your pull request, so this is your code. Thanks for your contribution. And to other people, you can look at their issues and contribute too. I've made some contribution policy this week, so I'm going to add more issues during the next week, and I think there will be like 5 or maybe 7 issues that you can work on. Like if you don't know Python or you don't know Python very well, you can work on them, then create a pull request, and I will review your code. So in one of the previous episodes, I indexed some data, but I wrote only code for indexing, but not for using these indexes. So I'm going to create a class sorted. I'm going to call it this. Okay. So in it, I'm going to load these indexes. These are basically JSONs now, so they are pretty simple. So I think I'm going to just copy this and create load JSON from file. By the way, I think it's called indexdir in indexes, so I'm going to call it indexdir here too for consistency. Source file name, and I'm going to use JSON load file. I think there may be a better way to organize reading. There might be a better way to combine reading and writing JSONs to and from files, because it looks like sort of copy paste to me. That's not good, sort of duplicated code. But I'm going to use it now. Okay, I'm going to copy paste more code, not good, but it's really simple solution. Maybe I need to move some of this code, for example, into an object, into a class that both searcher and indexer will inherit. Not sure. On the other hand, there is not much copy paste. Not sure. Maybe not. I think I need more, like 5 or 10 minutes to think about it, and I'm not going to do it now. Later. Maybe it's going to be an issue. I think I will decide after this episode. So for now, I'm going to load this stuff, and I'm going to create a few a few methods for using these indexes. The most interesting index is like inverted index. If you watched my previous episode, then you know that it's an index from Word to documents that have this word. And it's pretty cool because it allows you to search quickly. I think does explicitly inheriting from object makes a difference. I actually don't quite remember. I think it creates a few nice functions. So let me open a REPL shell. So let's create a class that doesn't inherit from object, and then let's create a class bar that inherits from object. And I think one of the differences is that type function will not work on foo, and it will work nicely on bar, or maybe not as nicely. Sorry, I need to instantiate it. So I'm going to create foo, I'm going to create bar, I'm going to instantiate buzz2, and I think I'm going to create another class called foo2, sorry. And let's run type function on bar, then on buzz, then on foo, then on foo2. Oh, okay, I didn't instantiate foo2. So as you can see, both foo and foo2 are of a different type, because foo and foo2 are different classes, but type function returns the same thing. And sometimes I want to debug my program, and I want to print types of the variables. And I hate when I see type instance instead of, for example, class main bar, which is a lot more convenient because I can actually see what the actual type of the variable. So inheriting from object definitely makes a difference. It's probably not only there are probably other differences, but one particular difference is this type function, and I really like to see actual type. So that's why I inherit from object. So let's use inverted index. Get Okay, I'm going to create a function that does this, takes list of words, which is, and returns all documents that contain one of these words. So it works like or. going to call it find documents. Self query. Okay, I'm going to call it parsed. Okay, list of words. Okay, just words. Just words. And so forward index is basically parsed texts of parsed posts, and inverted index is map from word to documents that contain these words. If you ever read a book like a printed book, you know that in the end there is typically an index. So if you want to find term like, I don't know, decorator, so let's say you're reading a Python book and you want to read something about decorators. So you go to the end of the book, you open an index, and there is like a list of words, a list of terms, and pages that contain these terms. And inverted index is a pretty similar concept. So when you search, you can use inverted index to quickly find document that contains these words. Okay, so let's do it. Let's just so what I'm going to do is self-inverted index word. And what I want to do now is merge all these posting lists, and posting list is list of pairs doc ID and position. So it contains all IDs of documents and positions of words. I mean, for each word, we create this posting list star, which contains a list of documents and list of positions in these documents. I mean, pairs. Okay. So I need to merge this I need to merge all posting lists together into one big list. And to do this, what I'm going to do is just simply concatenate it without any sorting, without bothering about ranking the results, whatever, just concatenate it. How do I do it? I think I'm going to use list comprehension. Forward index is like a set of words for a given page. Yeah, like basically parsed document, just list of words that each post contains. It's called inverted index, not backward index. But yes, it's like it's like a word pointing to documents where the word can be found. Yes, so you're right on this. So what did I want to do? Okay. for word in words, and I need to concatenate it. I wonder if sum function will work properly. Let's see. I want to make sure that sum works nicely. Can only concatenate list to list. Okay. Doesn't work as I wanted, but I think I can use reduce. Oh, by the way, maybe some will work. Nope, didn't work. Let's try reduce. Lambda. Okay, maybe I need to find Stack Overflow, some Stack Overflow. Okay, there is a way to use some function. What I needed to do is try to supply an extra argument. So it works with sum. Great. Perfect. I think I don't have crowded URLs now, but the good thing is yesterday I started indexing Reddit on DigitalOcean. If you haven't watched the previous episode, you might want to watch it, but basically I just set up a VPS on DigitalOcean, and I started crawling Reddit. I don't remember my password. Okay, so I have installed a VPS here. I have user called crawler. Okay, 500. $508. I don't remember what's the status quo is this. Gateway timeout. But I think I need to introduce some retries here. But let's see how many URLs are there. Wow. Actually not that much, just 400. But I think it's enough for for the test purposes. So what I need to do now is to index them and try to use it in my index. Okay. By the way, I need to fix a problem here. I need to make this argument required, and I want to make this argument required too. So let me commit it. I hate no. Okay, I think there is I want to make another improvement, which is make this script invocable as like this. Okay, created. I'm streaming for an hour already. Okay, I'm going to start indexing it. And I'm going to be away from keyboard for like a minute to drink some Coke. Index is created. So this is my VPS on DigitalOcean, and I need to copy these indexes back to my laptop. Okay, great. How do I do it? I think I'm going to use rsync. Copied. So I'm going to try to use searcher. Searcher. Access. Arg. Arg. So my indexes are in indexes directory, and actually it would be better to make it configurable, but for now I'm going to really simple, make it really simple. And there I'm going to return a list of URLs. I think I'm going to return a list of URLs. Okay, let's return a list of docker IDs and then make it a list of URLs. Docs searcher, sorry, get find documents query speed. Okay. I'm going to create an ordered list, and each list item is going to be a document. To do this, I need to use a for loop. In the beginning of this episode, I mentioned that Jinja allows you to use for loops. I'm going to show you how to do this. So it's actually pretty simple. For doc in docs, okay. This should do the job. Ticked object has no attribute read. Okay, let's see why is the problem. because it's going to be called tst. It's going to be called tst. Let's see. Searcher object has no attribute indexed yet. Maybe. Okay, because it's not indexed here. Let's see if it worked. Localhost 500 or 5000. Python. Okay, error. So no Python for us. I need to check actual index. I can't believe no one. What the hell? There is Python. Okay. I need to debug it in a shell. Not in a shell. Okay. Going to do it here. From indexer import searcher indexes searcher find documents Python. Okay, searcher inverted index empty. That's weird. Let's see. Let's see how it works. Okay, that's going to work. Let's see how it works, how this code works. Photos. Okay. Worked nicely. Oh, no. I think I know what's the problem. Where the problem? The problem here is so how the problem looks to us. We have this code. We have a JSON file. JSON works correctly. It correctly puts stuff to DST, I think. But here we have empty dicts. And the problem here is the way how Python treats parameters. Basically, in Python there are objects, and object is like a value. And each value can have a name. But but so we have like this name for inverted index called self-inverted index. It has, and the value is empty dict. Obviously, we can add some stuff to this dict, like this. We can modify this value using this name, but when we pass it, it gets different name, and then Python on this line sort of creates a different value, right? It renames to dst parameter. I think if we can add print dst here, it will work nicely. Or maybe not. I don't know. Let's see. Reload indexer. Reload indexer. God damn it. From indexer import searcher. Okay, let's relaunch it. So yeah, it prints dst. And let's just print how much stuff we just loaded. And we are going to print here have for debugging purposes. Import indexer searcher equals indexer searcher. Okay, lam self-inverted index, self-forward index, self-forward, sorry, URL to ID. Reload. URL to ID is empty for some reason. Why is that? Why it doesn't work? So I'm going to fix URL to ID problem, and then I'm going to explain you how Python treats parameters. Sorry. Py. Sorry, index to ID. I forgot to add actual stuff to URL to ID. God damn it. Self URL to ID URL equals current ID. Okay. So I'm going to relaunch crawler. Okay, I'm going to push my fix. Okay, didn't work. Worked. So here I can have some output. So as you can see, this function works nicely. It accepts 2 arguments. Then it loads JSON, and we can see that it loaded like lots of values. But then we have empty dict anyway. So here dict is non-empty and here it's empty. And it's empty because Python is kind of weird. It handles parameters somewhat strangely, but it's an important concept to understand. Basically, values and variables names are sort of independent. Here we have dict, right? It has a certain name. We pass its value here, and this value gets another name. Well, then the problem is that JSON load creates a new value. It doesn't modify DST in place, right? But it creates a separate value, and DST is a name that gets assigned, or how do I put it? Sort of correspond to a diff. So DST at this point, after this line, DST corresponds not to our previous dict, but to a new dict that created this JSON load. And a new dict is a new value. It has the same name, but the value is different. And the problem is here we have old value with old name. I hope this makes sense. I tried to explain. I tried to explain it my best. Tried to do my best, but I'm going to show you a nice article. It's not called pass by value, but I actually read an article a few days before, and I think it's a nice article. Yes, I think this is the article. So publication of God damn it. I can't publish it. What the hell, YouTube? I want to... Okay. Okay, guys, construct the URL manually, but it's a very useful link. It probably explains better than I. So, how to fix it? The fix is going to be really simple. We need to return this t like this, and not take it as a parameter. So I'm going to one more time. There is a fork. Okay, sorry. Actually, I think it wasn't necessary to restart the crawler, but whatever. So now I need to test my code. Okay, I think the first line is doc ID and the second line is position. Oh, okay, probably it's not the case. The first number is position and the second number is doc ID. Let's now turn this doc IDs into actual links and see if our code works. Okay, so I'm going to kill the crawler and I'm going to index the stuff. How do I... let's index it. So I think I'm streaming for like, I don't know, almost 2 hours. Okay, an hour and a half. I think I'm going to end this episode soon once I make actual links instead of doc IDs. So the index is still working. Okay, it's completed. I'm going to copy going to create another dict. I'm going to use something called dict comprehension. Okay, value in sorry. get URL. Okay, now search results. So here I am going to not here. So sorry, purpose ID. So we have a list of positions and documents, list of positions and IDs, and I'm going to convert this list of positions and IDs to the list of URLs. And I'm going to actually display the actual URLs. Let's see. Let's see if it works. For URL in URLs, I'm going to use href tag. URL. Actually, and I'm going to use ordered list instead of unordered. I'm going to use ordered list. So, does it work? Okay, it doesn't. I think I'm not that good with dict comprehension. 72. Didn't work. Get URL takes exactly one argument. That's probably because I forgot self. Yes, I forgot self. Key error. Key error. Still key error. What's the problem? Maybe I didn't fix it. Let's see. No, it works nicely. Okay, let's see if there is 35. Okay, there is 35. Let's see. Here everything is okay. Okay. Let's debug it in shell. Empty. What the hell? Okay, what about URL to ID? Empty. Why it's not working? It's clearly not empty here, but I have no idea why. Let's print this thing. Empty. Okay, I figured it out. I copied to the wrong directory. This indexes, but I need to move it here. I need to sorry. Okay, so I think now it will work. Let's remove this. Route indexer. Route to sorter. Yes, works nicely. Okay, let's run. Sorry. Let's run Python. Global name URL is not defined. Where is that? Okay, see where it is. Here it should be URLs. Okay, here is the list of posts that contain the word Python. Sorry. Yeah, the list of posts that contain the word Python. Let's see if they actually contain the word Python. Okay, yeah, it's working. Let's test a couple more links, but I'm pretty sure it's working correctly. Okay, Python. Okay, Python again. Python, is it a good starting point? Yeah, probably it is. So I think it's working. I think I'm going to commit this code, push it to GitHub so you can play with it. And I'm going to end this episode. Meanwhile, you can ask me questions. I will have some time to answer them. But the episode will end in like 5 or 10 minutes. But maybe there are a lot of questions and then I will be answering them. Well, it all depends on your questions. If there are many questions, I will spend more time answering them. Otherwise, if there is no questions, then 5 more minutes. Git at web UI. Pip freeze requirements txt. Yeah. Let's see how much difference in requirements txt. So there is a bunch of stuff. added, basically related to Flask, Ginger, VTF forums, Flask Bootstrap, and git add web UI. Let's see. Okay, it says that I need to pull some changes from GitHub because I made some changes at the DigitalOcean server. By the way, I'm going to run crawler so it downloads more URLs. Git push. So yeah. Thanks guys. Thanks for watching. By the way, I was thinking maybe I need to make a full-blown learning by doing course. So I created a simple form to see if there is some interest. engine.com. Basically, just it will take much more time for me to build, but if there is enough interest, I will build it. So if you are interested, you may visit this URL. But the stream ends here. I'm going to update the information about the stream. Or maybe later. I will update once it becomes a video. YouTube automatically converts your streams to videos, so it's pretty convenient. But yeah, thanks for watching. I'm going to wait for a couple more minutes to see if there is if there are some questions. You can ask me. I'm happy to answer them. You can also ask me questions on my email. Well, so basically, thanks for watching this episode. Okay, looks like no questions. Thanks for watching and bye.